Hello, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Just Another RC podcast. Tonight we are recording episode 21. I'm recording this solo tonight, so it's just me. You have my voice only. First of all, I'd like to make a thank you to the people at NDOR, to Nick and all of his team, for providing us with a fantastic event and all the facilities over the weekend, including some fantastic catering, along with a very good course, very good, nice track. The weather was the usual British warmth at the moment, with the sun coming up later on in the day, and a few other making the track starting to go a little bit kind of slippy towards mid morning, with various mixed results coming from that. I've also got another thank you to Richard for lending me part of a battery terminal, which I've managed to lose, which meant that I could actually drive my truck without the battery terminal coming off. So, how did we all get on? What was it like? That's what we're here to listen to. That's what we're here to tell you. I will remind you that the next event is in 2 weeks' time. While I'm talking, I'm just going to put a few drivers on the screen. They're in no particular order. Please, people, get your photos of your trucks to me along with the information of what they are. If I don't have them, I can't put them on. It's as simple as that. If I have them, I will put them on the screen. Please send me photos of your truck. So the next the next round is at Tiverton, which is in 2 weeks. At the moment, it seems to be quite a big entry. Hopefully, we will do a sellout. I believe we're not far off at the moment. We had quite a large entry last weekend at NDOR, so hopefully we can get a few more there. I'd also like to make a quick apology because the live stream, I was upstreaming it, hotspotting from my phone, and the stream wasn't as fast as before, so it wasn't as uploading as before. I've also hopefully got rid of that echo that we had before. So if people can let me know whether that had gone, it seemed to have gone my end, and having watched it back, it seemed to have gone. It just that the playback was a little bit slow, coming from because of the upload speed. So where did we all go? Where did we all get on? So we've seen some photos of the cars. Let's have a look at the results. So the results wise, we had the overall results, four-wheel drive short course was Oliver Swain, Jason Hopkins, Mark Biddis, with Oliver taking a first, a second, and a first, and Jason Hopkins taking a second, a first, and a second, and Mark Biddis taking three thirds. Four-wheel drive short course A final, we had Dan State taking all three of the rounds. We also had Sol Hopkins taking a third and 2 seconds. Lucas Bird taking a second and 2 fourths. Stuart Carling taking a seventh, a third, and a fifth. Nick Tullett taking a sixth, a tenth, and a third. I'm guessing that Nick didn't have a very good second round. Nick was the chairman of the event at the venue we were at. Once again, I'd like to thank Nick for all of his hard work and his team's hard work, because it's not just one person, it is a complete team that put these events on. Without these people doing the events at the tracks, none of us could race. So please, if you see them, a thank you goes a long way. Two-wheel drive short course B final, we had Sebastian Birchall with a third and 2 firsts. We also had Oliver Swain with a first and 2 seconds, followed by Daniel Moulds with a second and 2 thirds, John Yarman with 2 fourths in the finals. Two-wheel drive short course A final, Jamie Long holding his place there with 3 firsts, James Moulds with 2 seconds and a third, Curtis Stain a fifth, a third, and a second, Simon Hall with a third and 2 fourths, Oscar Morris with a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth. and Stuart Carling with a 9th, an 8th, and a 5. Rear motor A final, where the real boys are at. Rear motor, I've seemed to have joined the party late, but I am absolutely loving it. And I'm going to love it even more in my new truck when I finally build it. Which is David Bailey taking first, 2/3 and a second, Rich Hopkins taking 2 seconds and a first, Dave Richards taking a 5th and 2/3, Paul Land taking a 3rd, a 5th, and a 10th, and Rob Hancock taking 4th in all 3 rounds. Stadium Truck D final, we've got Martin White taking all 3 rounds, Florence taking 2 seconds and a third, Rich Chillingworth taking 2/3 and a second. Moving our way onto the Stadium Truck B final, we have Will Wheatley, Dave Griffiths, Mark Stevens, George Bancroft, Mark Hicks, with Will taking 2 firsts and a third, Dave taking 2 seconds and an eighth, Mark Stevens taking a 4th, a 3rd, and a 2nd, George Bancroft taking a 3rd, an 8th, and a 4th, and Mark Hicks taking a 7th, a 9th, and a 1st. So let's move on to the B final. Okay, we've got Daniel Hurd, Steve Price, Charlie Hall, Lucas Bird, Graham McFarlane. Daniel Hurd taking 2 firsts and a second, Steve Price a 2nd, a 4th, and a 1st, Charlie Hall a 3rd, a 2nd, and a 3rd, and Lucas Bird taking a 6th, a 3rd, and a 6th, Graham McFarlane taking a 5th, a 7th, and a 4th. As with all of these things, and it's practice and preparation that appears to pay off. People that like me that just turn up that don't really practice and don't really do a lot of car prep, it shows in the results. Those people who do the car prep and the practice, it shows in their results quite a lot. I imagine that the guys who win the finals do quite a lot of prep, and I imagine that they always do quite a lot of practice in getting it right. So, just before we move on to the Stadium Truck A final, I would like to make a thank you to CML Distribution for once again donating a pit mat. This round it went to Florence Bancroft for the NDOR track. So thank you once again, CML. Hope she enjoys her pit mat. Thank you. It's always appreciated when companies give us prizes to hand out to the juniors. It does make a little bit of a difference, and the juniors always seem to go in with a nice smile on their face. So as we move into the Stadium Truck A final, we've got Kit Jones taking a 1st, a 4th, and a 1st. Tony Bishop taking a 2nd, a 1st, and a 2nd. Alan Wilden taking a 5th, a 2nd, and a 4th. Jamie Long taking 3rd in each final, and Keith Housley taking a 4th and 2/5. So, where does that leave us? Where does that leave us going into the final round? Where does it put us in the overall championships? So, that was our penultimate round. We've got the final round coming up, as I said, in 2 weeks in Tiverton. Please, 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 if you intend to do the event, please get booked in, just in case it is a sellout, to avoid any disappointment. This will be the final round this year. This will be the one that we'll be looking at. At the moment, there are still several top places up for grabs. So let's have a look at where we are. So in the four-wheel drive short course, we've got Dan State over Ben Baxter over Sol Hockling. Looking at results, Ben's only done 4. So at the moment, if he was to do round 6, there's still a possibility that he could win the championship. I think looking at that, I don't fully understand some of these championship points. I seem to get it wrong quite a lot when I say about them. So this is as we stand at the moment with Dan State over Ben Baxter, Sol Hocklin, Lucas Bird, Sharif, Carl Rowlands, Mark Higgs, Dan Birchenough, over Hayden Nix, Oliver Swain, Fur Birchill, Jason Hopkins, Mark Biddis, Mark Everett, Eddie Rowland, James Bedford, Joe Axe, Stuart Carlin, Nick Tullett, Tony Chapman. Two-wheel drive short course. Jamie Long, James Mould, Simon Hall, Stuart Carling, Oscar Morris, David Searle, Phil Salt, Phoebe, Oliver Swain, Richard Birchall, Sebastian Birchall, John Yarman Sr., Dan Moulds, James Crouch, I think your surname is. I do apologise if I get that wrong. Mark Everett, Simon Gaunt, John Yarman Jr., Curtis Rain, Scott Burleton, Alistair Dupont, Stephen Carpenter, Glenn Petcher, Stadium Truck. So at the top of the Stadium Truck, it's still all to play for. Depending on the outcome of what happens at Tiverton, depends on who's going to win the championship. At the moment, it's Tony Bishop over Kit Jones, over Jamie Long, over Joe Cockhill, over Alan Wilden. That is the top 5 with Steve Price, Jason Potter, Adam Boffrey, Charlie Hall, Rich Hipkiss making up the top 10. It's still all to play for. I imagine we're going to have some very, very good finals. Hopefully we will live stream the finals. And what I aim to do this time is I aim to put them as each final. So round 1 of finals will be one broadcast, round 2 of finals will be a second broadcast, and round 3 of finals will be a third broadcast. That way, when we're looking back through them, it's easier to find which finals are which, because the problem with it being all recorded as a single unit means that trying to look back through them to find out who was in which final is quite hard, and it takes quite a lot of time. If we looked at further down the list, we've got quite a few gaps there from people who've just done the odd rounds. And then we start looking towards the rear motor. Okay, in the rear motor, we have got Ben Baxter over Mark Ashworth, Mark Biddis, Ewan Carter, Dave Richards. That's the top 5. With Luke O'Neill, Stuart Carlin, Rob Hancock, myself, and David Bailey making it the top 10. I have to admit, I never thought I'd be in the top 10 of a championship. Admittedly, there's not many people after me, but it's still an achievement, isn't it? So, as long as I walk away with a smile on my face after every event, I'm happy. So that's the main thing for myself. So, what are our predictions for the next event? Who do we think's going to win? Hopefully, we're going to have some decent weather again. It'd be nice to, and hopefully then we can do it all in the dry without having to get those horrible silver tyres out. So, thank you very much for listening. Please, if you've got any questions, any comments, please get them back to me. I do appreciate any feedback. At the moment, I'm trying to do a few things with a couple of logos, and I'm struggling a little bit to try and get the one translucent. It's meant to work, but it doesn't. So please bear with me. Hopefully by next season, we'll have ironed out some of the issues and made it better and better for you guys to watch the streaming on the day if you are watching at home or if you're watching in the pits. And also hopefully try and make these a little bit smoother, a little bit more so they flow, add a few more things in. I'm still learning the technology. I'm still trying various things out. Hope you've enjoyed watching, or those of you listening on audio only, and hopefully we will all see you at the next events. Please, if you see me in the pits, please come over and say hello. It's always nice to meet people, and it's always nice for people to have a chat and potentially come on as a guest. Those of you who haven't already, please send me through photos of your truck and along with what the actual truck is. It's always fantastic to see. Thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.